Participants, may we request for you all to be seated as our Leadership Roundtable 1 will begin in 1 minute. We'll be running a bit behind the schedule already. I would like to invite everyone to be seated and we will start in 1 minute. Thank you very much.
Recording in progress.
A gentle reminder to you all to kindly switch your mobile phones to silent mode during the next session, which will begin in 30 seconds. Kindly be seated at your seat and we will begin. Thank you very much. Welcome back, distinguished participants. Ladies and gentlemen, Leadership Roundtable 1 is organized by the Government of Thailand under the title Sufficient Economy Philosophy for SDGs. Please welcome our moderator, Ms. Kathaliya Patumrot, Director of Development Affairs Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand. Our four distinguished speakers, Mrs. Kamolini Suksiwong, Executive Director of the Division of Study and Extension of the Royal Development Works. Mrs. Urirat Charanto, Director General of Thailand International Cooperation Agency. Associate Professor Dr. Wacharapong Wattanagun, Vice President for Research and International Affairs, Chiang Mai Ratchapat University. And Dasho Karma Tenzin, Deputy Chamberlain, Head of Queen's Projects Office of Bhutan. I would now like to pass the floor to the moderator. Thank you.
Good morning, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, and also our audience on live broadcasting this morning. I'm very honored to be moderating this Roundtable 1 on Sufficiency Economy Philosophy and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. Today we have a very limited time. We have just around 1 hour, and we have our distinguished speakers who are experts and practitioners on this issue. So today we would be discussing on the meaning of the sufficiency economy philosophy, which is Thailand's development approach. We would be discussing how the SEP interact with Thailand's development cooperation, and also the concrete example of the partnership between Thailand and Bhutan will also be discussed. So without further ado, I would like to begin our discussions. First, I would like to begin with the discussions on the SEP, the concept of SEP. And we have with us Kun Kamolini Suksiwong, Executive Director of the Division of Study and Extension of the Royal Development Works. And Kun Kamolini, I would like to ask you to provide an overview of the concept of the SEP, the application of the SEP in Thailand, and also perhaps the linkages between the SEP and the UN SDGs. You have the floor, Madam.
Thank you very much. Have my slides? Okay. Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Office of the Royal Development Projects Board, I feel very honored to represent my office as a panelist to speak on the topic of Sufficiency Economy Philosophy, or SEP, in Thailand. Many of you may have heard about Sufficiency Economy or Philosophy, or SEP, Thailand's homegrown. Sorry, this slide doesn't go. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Many of you may have heard about Sufficiency Economy Philosophy, SEP, Thailand's homegrown approach to sustainable development, and precious gift from our beloved king, the late King Bhumibol Adulyadej, or King Rama IX. The term Sufficiency Economy Philosophy was first introduced by the late King Bhumibol Adulyadej in 1997, when Thailand was hit by an economic crisis. However, the philosophy has been practiced by the king since the beginning of his reign, translated into development principles and embedded in all of the royal development projects. Since King Bhumibol became our king in 1946, he was a working monarch. He had traveled to many parts of the country, always carrying a map, a notebook, a pen, and a camera. It was his work approach: go out to sea and meet the people, understand, and then develop. When the king came up with an idea, the agencies concerned would conduct a feasibility study. Sometimes he even did the testing himself. That's why he allocated some spots on his palace ground to be his laboratory. These are known as the Royal Chilada projects. If his idea worked, then they became the Royal Development Projects. The sufficiency economy philosophy suggests a guidance for thinking, making decisions, and performing actions. It incorporates the 5 important elements: moderation, reasonableness, self-immunity, or resilience, backed up by 2 conditions: knowledge and morality or virtue. With these key elements, one will take the middle path in all his endeavors, evaluating the reasons and consequences of actions using analytical capability and foresight, building ability to withstand shocks, handle changes, and cope with challenges that are uncontrollable, using all-round and profound knowledge, as well as exercising all the good qualities, such as honesty, patience, perseverance, intelligence, diligence, and many others. The philosophy can be applied to the people of all sectors, levels, sex, and ages, and has 3 stages: the individual, fundamental, or the community or interdependent stage, and the nation or networking stage. The ultimate goal is to promote self-reliance, balance, security, unity, and sustainability. The localization of the SEP in Thailand is evident in King Bhumipon's development principle and the implementation of the royal development projects throughout the nation. To attain the development goals in the most effective way, King Bhumipol pursued his development principles, such as tackling immediate problems, following steps and necessity, explosion from within, considering the topographical and sociological factors, simplicity, economy but high optimization, systematic study of information, not sticking to textbook, promotion of modern but applicable and appropriate knowledge and technology, sustainable conservation and development of natural resources, public hearing and people participation, our loss is our gain, holistic or integrated approach, using nature to handle nature, self-supporting, etc. Throughout the 70 years of his reign, His Majesty King Bhumipol initiated more than 4,800 projects, the number of which has grown to 5,151 at present. They are classified in two main categories: agricultural development, conservation and development of natural resources and the environment, and occupational promotion. The majority of around 70% deal with the development of water sources, since His Majesty viewed that for Thai people, water is life. The vision built on the fact that Thailand is an agriculturally based country. The royal development projects are born out of the concept and theories on development that are people-centered and steered toward sustainability. On the matter of agricultural development, King Bhumipol urged the people to grow plants and raise animals that match with the soil and water conditions, local ecology, and the people's way of life. The people are also encouraged to pursue multi-cropping and integrated farming. The kings introduced one of the best methods of soil and water conservation management ever, the new theory farming practice, which underscores the division of land into 4 parts at the adjustable ratio of 30, 30, 30, and 10. The first 30% is for a pond to store water for household and agricultural users, as well as to raise fish and a source of protein. The second 30% is for rice cultivation to promote yield for daily consumption for the whole family throughout the year. The next 30% is for multiple cropping for general purposes such as vegetable, medicinal plant, fuel, etc. And the last 10% is for residence, garden, horticultural plot, animal houses, and farm buildings. On the aspect of water source development, the aim is to tackle 3 types of water problems in Thailand: drought, flooding, and water pollution. To fight drought and flooding, King Bhumipol proposed the making of artificial rain, increasing more room to hold water by raising dikes, getting rid of weeds, digging farm ponds, as well as creating water retention places, resembling the way the monkeys keep bananas in their cheeks and release out to chew later, widely known as the Monkey's Cheek Initiative. And for polluted water, it should be cleansed by natural means or by using a simple aerating machine that works like a turbine on the water surface called the Chaipana aerator, which has won several awards and a patent. For soil development, King Bhumipol recommend ways to handle different soil types: sandy soil, laterite soil, hard pan soil, peat soil, etc., with multiple cropping and integrated farming, utilizing organic fertilizer, compost, and green manure, as well as cultivating vetiver grass, which has long, expansive root system that brings down moisture from topsoil to lower soil and binds soil particles together to prevent erosion. He also offered a method to eradicate acidity in peat soil, which prevails in the South Thailand. This method is known in Thai as Klang Din. In terms of forest development, the king cares for both terrestrial and mangrove forest. He suggests the theory of 3 forests for 4 benefits, which highlight the growing of trees for multipurpose uses, for fuel, and for eating, whereby contributing to the 4th benefit, soil and water conservation. Others embrace the idea of reforestation without planting by not intruding into the forest and leaving the trees to grow in their own natural cycle. Cultivating forests on high ground using trees that have seeds, which will then fly to the lower elevation by law of gravity. Building check dams, which can be easily made by tree branches, bamboo stick, rock, stone, and other natural materials to slow down water flow, disperse moisture, and trap sediments. Mangrove forests are given importance as they serve as a barrier against erosion, as well as the breeding ground and nursery for aquatic animals. It can be said that the King's development theories have rendered benefits to the country in a widespread and comprehensive manner, from the mountaintop to the seabed. Along with the SEP, His Majesty King Bhumibol suggests the new theory farming practice as a tool to achieve a sustainable and sufficient living. It is a method to deal with problems the farmers are facing, namely uncertainty of weather conditions, water shortage, unstable productivity, and fluctuating prices of agricultural produce. The complete new theory has 3 stages like the SEP. At the farm or individual level, the farmers are urged to divide their land into 4 parts for the maximum use of farm resources. The primary objective is for daily consumption. If there is a surplus, then it can be sold to earn some extra money income. With the pond, plots, and farm yields, which grow all the year round, the farmer will achieve food security, enjoy a better living standard from reduced household expense, and have immunity against drought and flooding. At the second stage, the farmers are encouraged to cooperate among themselves by forming groups and cooperatives. It helps strengthen the community by allowing the farmers to learn to live together in a unified and cooperative spirit and creating social safety net. Then, at the third stage, the farmers are urged to expand the community activities through reaching out to other communities, cooperatives, firms, banks, and outside capital sources. Once having achieved this state, the farmer will reach sustainability. This reflects sufficiency at the national level. The best example to demonstrate the comprehensive value of the SEP is the Royal Development Study Centers established following the King's initiative from 1979 to 1983. There are 6 of them, serving as the places for carrying out study, research, and experiments on the multidisciplinary agricultural knowledge and demonstrating the results for the people to see, to learn from, and to apply on their own lands. Each center is meant to be a living natural museum, a model of success, and a lifelong learning site where knowledge and development patterns are crafted to suit the local topographical and sociological characteristics and address the particular problems of the areas. The centers also showcase the King concept and theories on development as mentioned earlier. Representatives from the various government agencies are mobilized to work together to provide a one-stop service. There, the farmers and the general public can go to see the demonstration and ask for advice. Additionally, they can attend training courses. And as a tool to extend the benefits of the royal initiatives, the centers establish model farmers or learning centers who succeeded in using the knowledge gathered for others to follow suit. The centers not only promote self-reliance individually, but also collectively by urging the farmers to form groups and to assist one another in the occupation and the general living. Since its official introduction in 1997, the SEP has gained increasing recognition. From 2002 onwards, it has been incorporated as the core component of Thailand's national economic and social development plans, from the 9th plan continuing on to the 13th plan, which will start October this year. In 2017, the philosophy was highlighted as the guiding principle in the 20-year National Strategic Plan, which covered the period from 2018 to 2037. Significantly, it was stated as one article in the Thai Constitution. Up until today, many organizations from all sectors, public, private, state enterprises, social enterprises, SME, startup, have realized the benefits of the SEP and apply the philosophy in their operation. On the international front, the SEP has been recognized by the international community as witnessed by His Majesty being bestowed the United Nations First Human Development Lifetime Achievement Award by the former Secretary General Kofi Annan in 2006. During the past decades, Thailand has continued to highlight the SEP as an alternative approach to sustainable development at many international arenas. Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, since SEP shares ultimate common principles and objectives with the SDG, it can be acknowledged as a means to achieve the 17 goals. To be specific, all of the Royal Development Projects share a part in spearheading Thailand towards the SDGs, particularly Goal 1, No Poverty, Goal 2, Zero Hunger, Goal 3, Good Health and Well-being, Goal 6, Clean Water and Sanitation, Goal 10, Reduce Inequalities, Goal 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, Goal 13, Climate Action, Goal 14, Life Below Water, Goal 15, Life on Land, as well as Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goals. As Thailand has recommended to the world SEP for SDGs with numerous success stories, we are certain that the SEP can also be the guiding principle for this forum, Thailand's South-South and Triangular Cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kun Kamolini, for your very clear presentation. I think we got it very clearly that the SEP comprises of several elements: moderation, reasonableness, and resilience, and together with the two supporting elements, and those are knowledge and virtue. And I think in your presentation, you have also clearly elaborated on how the SEP has been translated, or as you said, localization of the SEP in Thailand. I think that's very clear. And its contribution to the SDGs, I think, from the different projects, the rural development projects, the forest development, or the soil development, they all, as we can see, they all contribute to the different elements or different goals of the SDGs. And I think we need that in our discussions, to learn from one another on ways that we can support the drive towards the SDGs in different countries with our own different approaches. And now I would like to turn to Kun Urirat Charanto, Director General of the Thailand International Cooperation Agency, or TIGA. And I understand that Thailand has been applying the SEP in our development cooperation with our partners in different regions. But please, can you further clarify on how Thailand has applied the SEP in practice in our development cooperation, and taking into consideration that countries have different contexts and have different development challenges? You have the floor, Madam.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, Sawasdee Ka. As you have listened to our previous speaker from the Office of Royal Development Project Board on the concept of the sufficiency economy philosophy and the domestic aspect of applying the SEP to our development, national development. So my presentation will focus on how Thailand International Cooperation Agency, or TIGA, has integrated the concept into our development cooperation with an objective towards the global development goals of the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. So this is my presentation outline. First of all, I would like to introduce you a little bit about my organization. Then we will talk about the SEP for SDGs in development cooperation. And then I would like to provide samples of the project that we have done abroad. The first one is the Learning Center. And the second one is sustainable community development. And the third one, there's one project applying the SEP that we have done with other countries, other donors as well. And the last topic should be the way forward, like after the post-COVID-19 situation. So, about Thaiga, our core responsibility is to promote Thailand's development cooperation with other countries and international organizations around the world. We provide technical assistance and cooperation in four major forms, which we'll elaborate further during my presentation. The first one is the development projects that we actually implement projects in the recipient countries. The second one is, of course, the human resource development. We have a long-term scholarships as well as the short-term training courses. The third one is Friends from Thailand, FFT volunteer program. I believe that we are one among the few of developing countries that we send volunteers to work in development project outside Thailand. And the fourth one is we are also sending experts doing our to give advice and to do the feasibility study and implementing the projects. So now we come to the SEP for SDGs in development cooperation. Well, these slides just to pick up from my previous speaker that in 1997, SEP as a guiding principle behind Thailand's national development. We start, to adopt SEP as a guiding principle in our national development plan, which is the 9th plan onwards, and it helped build inclusiveness, resilience, and strength in Thai communities and improve Thai people well-being. And in 2004, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand is entrusted with enhanced role in international development cooperation in order to ensure its coherence with our foreign policy. And in 2015, the UN member states adopted the 2030 agenda, which encompasses 17 interconnected sustainable development goals. And I would not want to. I think everyone has a good knowledge of the SDGs and the agenda for development already. I just want to inform that actually the concept of the SEP was recognized by the UN as a guiding principle on alternative development. It was mentioned in many resolutions adopted by the UNGA, ECOSOC. In 2016, Thailand, as a chair of a Group 77 in China, shared its experiences and success in the adoption of SEP as an alternative approach to achieve the 2030 agenda with other developing countries. So this initiative was welcomed and endorsed by the Group of 77 in the ministerial declaration adopted at its 40th annual meeting of the Ministers for Foreign Affairs on 23rd of September 2016. And from then on, Thaiga, as a national focal point for international development cooperation, we also integrated the concept of SEP in almost of every aspect of our development cooperation. And until this year, we have SEP branding projects in 18 countries. This is just to elaborate a little bit in terms of our development cooperation to promote SEP for SDGs. The details would follow in the next page. The first one is annual international training courses. One of the areas of focus include the sufficiency economy philosophy. The other would be public health, agriculture, food security, climate change, and whatnot. And every year we offer 30 to 35 courses for the annual international training courses. The second one is our international postgraduate program, which is a long-term scholarship. We promote and share knowledge about SEP and its application in our program of TIPP. For example, we have SEP-related master degree courses, a Master of Science in Organic Agriculture Management at Major University. This program places an emphasis on SEP as a basis, create innovation according to sustainable development guidelines of the country and the world. The second one is Master of Science program in Bioscience for Sustainable Agriculture at Silpakorn University. It emphasizes research and teaching in sustainable agriculture. The core concept of this curriculum is based on the application of SEP to biological science to solve the problem in agricultural products. The third one is Friends from Thailand. It's our volunteer program. We dispatch Thai volunteers who work abroad under development projects or at the request of partner countries. This represents an expansion of Thailand's international development cooperation and allows for young Thai people to work as volunteers overseas. Before their departure, TICA arranged a 4-month training program for all volunteers to support their work abroad. And for those who are assigned to work in the SEP-related area, they will be equipped with the knowledge about SEP, visit some communities and study centers, are involved with the application of sufficiency economy philosophy. This year, we have sent 29 volunteers to 5 countries. They work in the areas of agriculture, tourism, Thai language, Thai music. Additionally, we will have 14 volunteers working under SEP projects in Vietnam, in Laos PDR, in Benin, and in Bhutan. So Friends from Thailand Volunteer Program was selected by the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs as an example of SDG good practices. So these slides will show that we also organize study visits, online training course, online seminars. One of the example is Sustainable Community Development and Management Training course for Sri Lankan participants, Good Agricultural Practice for Tea Community Tourism, and Agricultural Forest Management Training courses for Vietnamese participants. This is just to name a few of our courses and seminars that we have been conducting. So now we come to the development cooperation projects. For the SAP branding, we have 2 categories of the projects. The first one is SAP Learning Centers. The second one is SAP Sustainable Community Development, which I think it's kind of the same concept of what we are doing in Thailand as well. This slide will show that there are development projects based on the application of the SEP in 17 developing countries. You can see it covers Asia, Africa, and even the South Pacific. And requests of the establishment of such centers in some countries are still, are now under consideration. So now, how TICA apply SEP in our development projects. And just to answer our moderator, also we have to consider the context of the country that we are cooperating with, and not just to take everything and put into their perspective. So we have 9 steps in applying the SEP in our projects. The step 1, we have to analyze the areas first, and then we identify the challenge, set target of development, and then we see from that challenges that we should acquire relevant knowledge, and basically we see the local wisdom to solve local problems and develop the areas. Then we promote communication among villagers and seek agent of change. We begin the process of developing the areas and keep monitoring, evaluating regularly. And next step is to expand development process to create a sense of belonging as part of the development network. We create a model of success and expand their development, and regularly monitor development and take innovation for improvement. Then we enhance local capacity of villagers with a mindset towards sustainability. I believe that to create a sustainability for development projects, we need a ownership, we need a commitment, we need partnership with our development partners. So next topic would be some examples of our cooperation project and applying the sufficiency economy philosophy. So this one is the establishment of a learning center in vocational schools or colleges in Laos. You can see that we start with from the first one in Vientiane, in Dong Kham Chang, and then the recipient, our colleague from Laos, they see the benefit of these projects, that it can make difference on the ground. I have a concrete outcome. So they requested us to expand further to other part of the country. So now we have 6 learning centers. 3 of them have finished the projects, and the other 3 are still ongoing. For me, I see that this is one of the sample of a success in doing a development project, that the recipient countries, they see the benefit and they request us to assist more. So this project, we are doing community development, and we call it One Girl Walk, One Product development project between Thailand and Bhutan. The project promoted agricultural development in Bhutan so as to boost development and export Bhutan's agricultural produce and related products made by the local communities. Thai experts transferred knowledge and share experiences in the successful development of OTOP products with Bhutanese community. It has been very success. Many local communities can produce OCOP products that are sold into shops in Thimphu and Paro, as well as at the Paro International Airport. This project achieved 12 SDGs. Furthermore, this project was selected in 2020 by the UN Office for South-South Cooperation as a good example of South-South Cooperation initiatives, and was published in its publication on good practices in South-South and Triangular Cooperation for Sustainable Development. So the next speakers will share more on this project, especially their experiences and challenges during the project implementation. So I will not dwell into this project too much. But last but not least, for this project, these are handicraft bags made from the traditional Bhutanese. Bhutanese fabric using the designs and production techniques guided by Thai experts under the OCOP model 2. Each one is unique in style and color, and are not only one of many products that the project has developed. They were produced by a Bhutanese local community, And I suppose all of you may have got this bag already. But if not, then please visit our Thaiga's booth outside in the ESCAP hall, and you can get one as our souvenir for you while supply lasts. So next, we will talk about the sample of our cooperation on a trilateral level. Okay, this project, the Sustainable Tourism and Sufficiency Economy in Mongolia, is one of our development cooperation projects implemented under the trilateral cooperation between Thailand, Germany, and Mongolia. It was Thaiga's another cooperation project, which was recognized by the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs as a successful example of SDG good practices. So throughout the process, the SEP was applied to the project. In general, many people tend to think that SEP can be applied only in agricultural sector, but in fact, it is applicable in a broader sense. As you can see in this case, it was successfully applied to the community development and community-based tourism. This is also in Mongolia. So in addition, we created Thaiga's knowledge bank on SEP, accessible by all. If you're interested to learn more about SEP for SDG partnership, please visit our website. And there are also SEP handbook available at our booth as well for those of you who are interested in applying the concept in your development projects. Actually, I believe that my Vice Minister has mentioned already in his opening remarks that for post-COVID-19 development cooperation policy and direction, Thaiga will focus on 4 security. The first one is health security, job security, food security, and energy security. SEP for SDGs partnership lies at the core of our post-COVID-19 development cooperation policy and direction. SEP will continue to be our guiding principle in achieving the SDGs. Thaiga aims to promote security and resilience in this region by sharing our expertise in various forms of activities, for instance, development projects, online training, and Thai volunteers or experts. So this is an end of my presentation. For more information, once again, please visit our website, Facebook page, and other social media platform. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Director General. I think your presentation is very clear. I think we have, we have learned of the priorities for Thaiga post-COVID, and on health security, food security, energy security, and job security. And I think they all contribute to human security. You have also elaborated on different types of partnerships on SEP from Thaiga, the learning centers, and also the sustainable community development. And I think your presentation has made clear that the concept of the SEP is flexible, it's applicable in different contexts, and it's applicable in different stages of the project as well. So that's very interesting. You've mentioned the project, the OVA project, and the partnership with Bhutan. And now, because we have very time limit, I would like to turn the floor to Associate Professor Dr. Vacharapong Wattanakul, Vice President for Research and International Affairs, Chiang Mai Ratchapat University. And Dr. Vacharapong, you have been directly involved with the project, our partnership in Bhutan. I would like you to perhaps further elaborate on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellency, distinguished participants, and ladies and gentlemen. Today, I would like to tell you about my work, or our work, for 7 years in 10 minutes. So, the work is we call one GWOC, one product. It's similar to OTOP in Thailand or OWOP in Japan. Starting in 2014. Sorry. Oops. Okay. In 2014, His Majesty the King Jigme Gesel Namgyal Wangchuk has kindly mentioned to the Thai Mr. Siasak, usually the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand, about how he can help the farmer in Bhutan. Because of the agricultural product in the community that's left in the community cannot be sell into the market because of the road access. It's very difficult in Bhutan. So Thailand International Cooperation Agency sent one team in September 2014 that we call fact-finding mission. It's composed of the representative of Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Industry, and Ministry of Commerce to finding the how to solve this problem with Bhutan. We're coming up with the two models. First, we call OGOP Model 1 is resource-based marketing promotion, and Model 2 we call tourist attraction-based market promotion. By the time Bhutan representative said that their country is very small, so they cannot run two models at the same time. So we divide the model in two parts. The first we run Model 1 first. The Model 1 is starting with the cooperation with the Thaiga and also Queen Project Office, the Office of the Queen of Bhutan. The vision of this project, they want to be we call Bhutan everywhere. It means that their product have to be go to all the global country. So in that project, we starting with the three output and starting with capacity building in both in Thailand and Bhutan. And also study visit in Thailand, and we bring some of Bhutanese product, we call OGOP product, to exhibit in OTOP fair in 2017 and 2018, and very successful selling. They can sell 1 million baht on that fair, and that make them confident that this project can be achieved more. So. Not all of that. We Thaiga also send some procurement, some equipment procurement to Bhutan, and also send volunteer and expert from Thailand to the project. Sorry, this is a product that we are making, and you can see the product show in the front of this hall. And from start, we aiming to produce only 100 products, and we're coming up with 148 products after the end of the project phase 1. And the key factor that if we have a product, we don't have a sale point, is the problem of all of the products. So we set up the OGOP shops in the Paro International Airport, and also the shop in the town. And also Bhutan also exhibit their product into other countries as well, as in India, in Switzerland, and also our Prime Minister of Thailand also visit the shop in Bhutan. Also the news in Bhutan also spread out this successful also people in the country. It doesn't mean that the product can be sold for the tourists. Also the Bhutanese people want to buy the product too, because it's a new product for them. That is the one key factor. So and at the end of phase 1, we starting the phase 2 about the tourist attraction, because we have learned from Thailand that even though we are successful in OTOP, for 16 years. But the problem is the farmer in the rural area have to send the product to the city. That is cost a lot of money. So in Thailand, we're launching about the tourist attractions program. It means that tourists have to go to the village to see the village and buy the souvenir from the village and back. So the farmer doesn't have to go out to sell their products. So that is the way that we propose to Bhutan. And that one we starting to using the SEP as a guideline of the project. In this one, we not only use the SEP as a guideline, we use the working principle of the King Lama IX as a guideline to starting the project. It means that we have to be planning and make a decision before we starting the project by using the first, King Lama IX said to us that if we want to work with the farmer, we have to understand them. We have to approach to them before we think that we can develop anything at all. So we start with understanding. So I've been travel to our Thailand, and me have to travel to all the Bhutan, nearly 2,000 kilometers along all the country to understand what is the problem in that country. And also, we're coming up this model we call sustainable community development model based on the application of sufficiency economy philosophy for ESCAP village in Bhutan. So we select 6 areas throughout the country to be a demonstration area and select 6 community for that one. And also, why we select these 6 areas? Because 6 areas are different in sociology, geographic. So we manage each community on their socio-geographic, not one size fit all. And also, the other thing that before we start the project, the King Lama IX have emphasized that it's not the one who give to them, but they have to be we call inside blasting. It means that they have to know what they should do. So we have a lot of workshop in Thailand, in Bhutan, before starting the project, and everything is come up in this project. It's come from Bhutanese side. It's not our Thai side. It's been we are only the facilitator. We tell the story that how we success, but the way to do it is on the Bhutanese side. And also, to be approached to them, not only Thailand can learn from Bhutan. Bhutan have to learn from Thailand too. We brought a lot of Bhutanese to Thailand many times to understand what is the OTOP meaning and how we work in this country. And we call it participation. It's not only the site visit. It means that I brought a policy maker, the governor, and also the leader of farmer together and stay in the village of Thailand for a week to work with the farmer, to let the policy maker, even the governor, to understand what Thailand doing in that time. So after that, we just starting to make a plan, and that one we use a SEP model as a plan. We coming up with the 6 output of this plan, and we use the SEP as a first that we reasonable. It means that every time we thinking about this project, we have to think about why we have to do this, and every activity why we have to do this. And the second one is moderate, because we have to separate between need and want. We have to emphasize what is the need of this project. It doesn't mean that we provide everything for the Bhutanese. We have to think a lot. We have to talk a lot about this is your need or is it a want. And we have to separate it. Because of Thailand and Bhutan, we are not a rich country. We work together. And it's not only the budget. It means that moderate, it means that the manpower, also timing and budget. It's not only the budget. We think about 3 parts. because we don't have much time, we don't have much people to support. We have to work in the remote distance. So moderate, it means that we have to emphasize on this one. The other one we have to emphasize about the prudence or risk management. Every time you go to the village, if you think you give them something, no, it means that maybe you harm them. You have to think about when you step back, step out, what the farmer will do after we step out. That is the risk management. We have to emphasize on that one. Also, the knowledge management, we have to think about the absorptive capacity of the farmer. And also the last one, have to be honest and humble together. But before we start the project, we send our volunteer to that one, and COVID-19 spread out. So we keep momentum of this project by doing online for 2 years, produce a lot of products with the help of the QPO on that side and our Thai volunteer. But we are in Thailand, we are online training. And so this is coming up with the online training during 2 years. We have a 6 CLC set up, and also our products. It's about 24 products produced in this 2 years for 6 villages that produce that one. And so we set up the business plan for each community. And also, last but not least, that we call that Bhutan everywhere. It means that Bhutan doesn't want to, don't need to export the product. It means that tourists can bring the product back to their country. So on the 21st of February this year, on the His Majesty the King birthday, they launched this product, ESCAP product, to the Bhutanese airline. So that's what we call ESCAP to fly, on the fly. That is called, we call Bhutan everywhere right now. So the success soon of this one, it doesn't mean that the one who give and the one who receive. It means that we work together and they continue working together. That's the success soon of this case. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Watrapong, for summarizing your many years of work into very few minutes that we have, but it's very clear, and I think you have made it very clear that before we can develop, we have to understand, and then we have to approach the different communities or different societies individually before we can go on to cooperate on the development projects. And I think the vision of Bhutan everywhere is not far from reach at all now, especially with the post-COVID-19 phase and the resumption of the travel industry. I think it's very, very in reach, to have the Bhutan everywhere vision. Now, I would like to turn to our partner, Dasho Kamatensin, to listen to your experience and to learn from you on what's your evaluation of the partnership between Thailand and Bhutan in Bhutan, and also what are the results, and if and how has the project helped in terms of driving SDGs forward. So Dasho Kamatensin, you have the floor, sir.
Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Firstly, I would like to thank the Royal Government of Thailand and the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for successfully organizing the 11th Global South-South Development Expo 2022. And we, the delegation from Kingdom of Bhutan, are highly honored to be participating at the event. Through the participation, we are indeed highly honored to share the success story of one geo, one product that has been the outcome of collaboration between the Queen's Project Office and the Thailand International Cooperation Agency. It is an example of sufficiency economy philosophy achieving the sustainable development goals for the people of Bhutan. As Dr. Watrapong mentioned, in 2013, His Majesty the King granted the King of Bhutan granted royal command to the Bhutanese embassy to review and study one tambon, one product. And subsequently, His Majesty the King granted royal audience to His Excellency, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand, in which a mention was made to provide support to farmers for product development and marketing of their produce based on experiences in Thailand. His Majesty the King of Bhutan has been traveling a lot through his kingship all over the country. So His Majesty is aware of the difficulties of the farmers. So I would narrate one story where His Majesty met a man villager by the roadside trying to sell his small homegrown chilies. So at the end of the day, he could not sell the chili and asked what he was going to do with the chili, and the farmer replied that he will have to dispose it off because he couldn't sell. So based on that, I think it was one of the driving force behind coming up with the one yoke, one product experience for Bhutan. In September 2014, TICA deployed a team for Queen's Project Office of Bhutan, comprising of Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Industry, and Ministry of Commerce, and developed concept for OTOP development project in Bhutan, guided by philosophy of sufficiency economy of His Majesty the King Rama IX of the Kingdom of Thailand. The model proposed under the project are resource-based market promotion and tourism attraction based on market promotion, as mentioned by Dr. Washerpong. In November 2015, OGOP was formally launched, commemorating the 60th royal birth anniversary of His Majesty the King, the 4th King of Bhutan, with 60 OGOP products. As of September 2019, 148 OGOP products over 65 innovative products have been developed through assistance of TICA. The initiative has benefited our farmers through purchase of their products by OGOP for marketing. So, as of now, we have 3 OGOP shops, one in the Paro International Airport. So, when we look back of the man trying to sell his chilies, now his chilies are being sold at Paro International Airport and through OGOP website to all over the world. Whoever has placed an order for chili, he can get the chili that the villager was not able to sell in the past. So through OGOP, we would like to inform the floor that the initiative has immensely benefited our farmers in line with the sufficiency economy philosophy, complementing the sustainable development goals, especially number 1, no poverty, number 5, gender equality, and number 8, decent work and economic growth. The SEP proved successful in achieving sustainable development goals for Queen's Project Office and TICA Corporation, bringing Bhutanese farmers closer to global market through OGOP initiative. This is the turnover purchased from farmers. The produce of farmers are directly bought by OGOP for packaging, processing, value addition, and the money is benefiting the farmers directly. And this is the OGOP product sales in millions of Nultram. Nultram is the currency of the Kingdom of Bhutan. Except in 2020, we we were not able to sell much because of the pandemic, as in all over the world. But now the sales are picking up. And SDG 5, gender equality, through the capacity developments initiated through OGOP, we were able to train 65% women as compared to 35% men. And through we are also through TICA collaboration constructing processing facilities and providing basic processing equipments, and also providing training of GHP, good hygienic practices, and management practices for food processors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dajo Kama Tenzin, Deputy Chamberlain, Head of the Queen's Project Office in Bhutan. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences and perspective with us. And I think the results from the cooperation on the SDGs, especially on gender equality, I think it's very interesting that more women have participated in the capacity development training. And I think that's very encouraging. And I think women empowerment is key to sustainable development. I think we now have come to the end of our session. Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions and answers, but I hope that we can get together after this, and perhaps if you have further questions or views for our speakers, we can be in touch later. So for this session, we hope that it has clearly laid out the approach that Thailand has been adopting for international cooperation, the sufficiency economy philosophy, and how it's been applied to drive forward SDGs in our development cooperation. And I think the key word is partnerships, partnerships at all levels and among all sectors is key in the success of development cooperation. So with this, I would like to thank our speakers, our very distinguished speakers, for the time today. And I would like to thank all participants for joining us today, and have a very good day. Thank you.
And practical experience. I would like to ask all delegates to remain seated here in ESCAP Hall and stay tuned for the next Leadership Roundtable under the title, Our Common Agenda, a Ministerial Dialogue organized by UNOSSC. Thank you.